because this is a live podcast. But welcome back to Real Talk with Cinthia. This is episode 11. I can't believe it's episode 11. I'm so excited. But Jonathan, thank you so much, my friend, for being here and for
Of
accepting this
course.
invite. How are you?
Good. I'm great.
You're
Always.
always great. Yes, guys. And if you don't know
Always.
him, guys, this young man, I met him on TikTok, one of the biggest supporters you'll ever have, seriously, on TikTok. Like, such a great guy. So I'm super excited to chat with you
Thank you.
today, honestly, and also for making time, because I know life can be busy. For me, these past days have been a little crazy, but I literally have this day off even from work because I want to be like consistent with the podcast, and I'm just so excited. So once we start, I'm just like, okay, I'm so glad I did that, So
Right.
before we continue, now I know there's gonna be people who are gonna watch the replay, or whoever's watching live. They're too shy to say hi right now. But give us just a quick little intro of who you are, and then we'll kind of get to this because I'm excited to hear your story and to chat with you.
Awesome. My name is Jonathan. I have two wonderful girls. I'm a very busybody. Man, family. I have a big family. There's never a day where there's no invites in between. I'm a very supporter of human people. I am a very positive guy. I look at life different than everybody else. Um, for instance, Monday is my favorite day of the week.
Is
I feel
it?
like, yes, I feel like if you set your week right with Monday, the rest is gonna fall
I
through, you
love
know?
that.
Um, yeah,
I love that. I love that. No, and I love that because listen, this is the perfect way to start off the podcast, right? On a positive note. And I think that's so important, Jonathan. And this is what I'm telling you, you guys. And by the way, I put if you guys are on TikTok, make sure you guys give him a follow. I don't follow you on Instagram, so I don't know if you have Instagram, but if you do,
I do.
you do? Okay.
I
Well,
do.
okay. But we can you can give me the handle, or you can just say the handle before we end the podcast too. But you guys, I love the way it's so important to be surrounded with positive people. I always tell people, life is gonna life, but it's a choice on how you view life, right? Like even you saying right now, Monday is my favorite day. Like I'm sure a lot of people are like, ugh, Mondays, but there goes to
Right.
show you the way that you, I guess, react to life, right? Or how you look at life, right?
Hmm.
So
Yep.
we're gonna obviously get into your story, but just real quick off of that, like, what makes you be so positive? Like even you saying Monday's my favorite day, like why? Like would you say it's like because life has,
Experience.
or have you always been
Ex-
like this way?
I was a positive kid. You know,
Mhm.
I hear it
Always?
from like my uncles, aunties, mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, that I was such a happy kid.
Yeah. I
And
can see
then
that.
yeah, and then you hit like a certain part of your life, like your teenage years, your young adult years, and then you go through like all of these relationships, and then you start to deteriorate
Mm,
your character, like who you thought you were as a child, when you're like, oh
mm,
my God, like I used to be this, and then like somebody tells you this, and then the insecurity kicks in, and then your negative
mm,
starts settling in, and then you lose sight of like faith, God,
yeah.
and everything, and then you start to go rolling downhill and doing other things that are not good for you.
Positive. Wait, I
Yeah.
wanted I wanted to I wanted to stop you just a second. Sorry to interrupt
Go
you,
for
but
it.
it's because
No,
I
go
think
for it.
I think that's such a good how do you say it? Something to look at, or to perspective, because it's so true. When we're born, obviously we come into this world not knowing how crazy life is going to be. And when you're
Right.
kids, even like I see my little grandbaby, like there's no worry in the world. Even as you start growing, you're like, you keep positive, you believe in everything. I did a video the other day
Hmm.
where you're like, you have faith, and like, hey, like you have no doubt.
Right.
And sadly, life, people, disappointments like slowly starts, like you said, taking that away from us as human beings.
Right.
Like, oh my
Hmm.
god, like then we start doubting ourselves. Then we get stuck in like focusing on the bad that's happened to us in life, and then our whole
Right.
like demeanor can change. So I'm,
Hmm.
I'm glad you mentioned that because it's true. It's a sad thing,
Yeah.
but the good thing is, and I'm sure you'll be able to speak on this, is like I feel like I always tell people life is gonna life regardless. Like, you know,
Right.
it's how we react to it. Like at the end of the day, everything we do is a choice. Do
Right.
I choose to be right, positive, or do I let my circumstances or experience like just let me be like this negative person? I'm like, I
Right.
know I don't want to live like that. What do you have to
Yeah.
say about that? What do you think?
Man, like I said, yes. You as you like meet and get to know other people, and then you hear their uh perspective of who you
Mhm.
are. and
Mhm.
and to be honest, they're just judging you. So then they're like, oh, you know um they'll see a picture of you back then, and you're like, oh wow, you used to be skinny.
Oh my
And
god.
like that type of stuff, and you're like, is that a like a backhanded compliment? And then
Yep.
but then you take that, and then you go home, or you leave wherever you're at with this person, and then it runs through your mind, and you're like, man, am
Yeah.
I fat? Am I
How
like
you start
this? Am I
worrying
like
about
that?
how you look
Yeah,
because of
yeah,
somebody else's opinion.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And and then one day, like I said, I just like to read positive, like, quotes,
Yeah.
notes, hear it from like uncles and aunties that have been through a lot, then have something to
Like
say.
learn. Yeah.
Yeah, family members, old people. Man, I'm such a like a person where if I see you in the streets or anywhere,
Mhm.
right, and I know you have experience,
Yeah.
like I would slowly sit closer to you so I can say, hey, how you doing? I'm Jonathan. How you doing? Oh, well, I'm Frank, or I'm
Yeah.
Bob, or I'm Jeff, and then you
Yeah.
get
Yeah.
to have this conversation with them, and then I ask like the craziest things, and then they'll answer my question. Like,
Really?
and yeah, and
That's
like,
cool.
yeah, and then learning, and like I said, and then this quote always, serenades in my mind. It's like, you know, your reputation is, the interpretation of other people. Your
Mm,
character is who you
that's
are, and you got to protect that, and you got to keep
I
being
like
that person.
yeah.
Because if you let them back in after you kick them out, out of your
Mm,
world, out of your life,
yeah.
you're gonna go back to step one. You know what I mean?
It
Back to like telling yourself, "Oh, I'm never gonna, be
like
able to
negative.
make more money." Yeah, like you're gonna be a negative Nancy. I can,
That,
be.
that's true, and I love how you gave that example because it's true. We talk a lot about, especially now being the beginning of the year, and like everyone's like, oh, you new year, new me, da da
New
da.
year, new me. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and I've
Mm.
learned that it's like it's better to say New Year improved me, right? My last guest said that, Jay, when I interviewed him,
Yeah.
and it's so true because a lot of times we have to be realistic, but what you said is so important because a lot of times that's why it's so important who you surround yourself with, who you have conversations with, right? Who you
Right on.
listen to. And I
Mhm.
like that you said that. Like you try to seek advice from people who have wisdom or who've lived longer or
Mhm.
who can
Yeah.
give you, because at
Yeah.
the end of the day, like you said, life is going to throw challenges at us. Like now starting a new year, maybe even a lot of people, maybe even at this point, like what are we today? I don't even know what date it is. The
The third.
13th? 13th?
I
I
think
think.
so. Alexa, what's today's date? The 12.
Okay. Is it? It
No.
probably is. Oh yeah, hold on, let me see. Oh, it's the 13th. It is the
13th.
13th.
Yeah, it's the
Okay.
13th. She just said
Gosh,
it. Yeah.
guys, we don't even know what day it is. No,
I
but
mean, that's how beautiful life is. You don't worry
true.
about what day is day.
That's true.
No.
But and there's people who possibly even at this day 13 of the new year could be like, like already kind of got lost the whole like new me or new goals for this year. What
Right.
would you say, and we're going to get a little bit more into your story too, because I know you have a story to tell that I think will help many people. That's why I love about this podcast, because when people share their stories or their experiences, a lot of people can relate. Sometimes they
Hmm.
might feel like, oh, it's just me that I went through this, or they might be battling through things themselves, and then when they
Yeah.
hear a story, they're like, oh, okay, hold on a second, I'm not the only one.
Right.
So I think it's really cool to start the year off like this, because I feel like relatable, even like on TikTok, you guys, on social media, a lot of times we're scrolling, and we're looking at other people's lives, and sometimes comparing, sometimes
Hmm.
judging, but I think it is so
Definitely.
important to maybe even this year have a different perspective on like being very mindful of even what you watch, who you follow, like who you listen to, because at the end of the day, that does play a role like in your mental health. You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
ultimately we have to make a choice, but like I feel like
Yeah,
that helps. So, but
for
before we
sure.
continue with that, Jonathan, tell us a little bit like about you, like your life, and then maybe the biggest challenges that you have gone through, whatever you're comfortable sharing, of course, and then
Yeah,
how
no
you
doubt.
got out of that. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
how did Jonathan, even though you grew up as a positive person, but like you said, life happens and that could test us. So
Yeah.
the floor is yours, my friend.
All right. Um, like I said, experience, right? So let's start in the beginning. I was pretty much raised by like my mom's whole side of the family and my dad's some of my dad's siblings, right? Um, I was always upset at my dad. I mean, he was in the service. He would,
Mm,
be gone, but didn't realize that what he's doing is just trying to make a future for me and my sister.
mm.
And so I was kind of upset and mad at him. So I kind of took it out on being a teenager and
Like for being
being,
gone all the time? Is that what you mean?
yeah, like he would
Okay.
show up, and no doubt he'll show up with like, he'll buy me
Yeah.
toys, and like be a dad, right?
Mm.
And
Hmm.
I kind of wasted those years of being upset with him, being angry at him, not knowing the reason for that.
Yeah.
Fast forward to 2010. I think I was like 28 years old,
Hmm.
and I had a one-on-one with him, and he literally just told me his side of the story.
Oh, okay.
And I like sat there and I said, man, so I
Like you had no
wasted
idea.
our time. No, I wasted our time together as a teenager, as a young adult, as a young
Oh.
father. Like I wasted all of that. And I said, okay, what can I do now to make things better? So while he was living with me before he went back home, I
Hmm.
spend almost like every day, every night talking to him, kind of getting to know him again, kind of teaching, I mean, kind of letting him get to know me.
Hmm.
Like he would look at me and be like, dang son, that's really nice, or that's really wise of you, or that's
Hmm.
a good idea. And I'm just like, it's new to me. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
dad. And then like fast forward to everything else where now I'm in like relationships, failed relationships, and then you start getting told like you're this, you're that, you're
Mm.
deadbeat,
Mm.
you're such a loser and stuff like that. And I try to be
Wow.
positive through all that, like
That's
going
tough.
to school, going to college, and raising a newborn child, and just trying to make things work, and then trying to give Leilani, my daughter, like
Hmm.
a life period, that she's gonna
Hmm.
remember, or tell me later, like, thank you, dad, for this.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
the focus. But then I focus on that too far and too long, to where I
Mm.
forget to love me, know me,
Mm.
talk to myself, and tell myself that no, you're not a loser. No, you're not a deadbeat. No, no, you can make it. No, you can do it. No,
Mhm.
you can come out of this. No, I stuck in that mud. I
Good.
drowned it. I got back up, drowned, got back up, and yeah, I just kind of woke up one day and I said, if I keep doing this, I'm just gonna keep continuing to be that person.
Yeah.
And so, again, positive, positive.
Yes.
Got in a relationship, got married, got another baby, and then boom, failed. Right? You're just like, what? And now
You're like, what's going on? Yeah.
yeah, now you're mad at God. Now you're mad at your family. Now you're
Mm.
mad at yourself, your friend. And so you're numb now to the things that are surrounding you, that are a positive that's coming into your world, because now you're just focused on your ambition at work. How am I going to make more money? How am I going
Yeah.
to, provide for these two girls? What are my future goals for them? Not for me, but for them.
Or
Like,
for them.
if
Yeah.
I die, yeah, if I die, will they be taken care of? Like that stuff.
You started
And
worrying.
again,
Yeah.
yeah, and then you leave yourself out of it again. Now you're
Yep.
now you're just focused on everybody else but yourself.
But you, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm a firm believer in saying, like, if you can't love yourself, then you
Oh,
can't love nobody else.
it's so true. Sorry, I
Yeah.
wanted to just and come and while you're saying that before I forget, I
Okay.
feel like yeah, once you drink some water. Um I appreciate you sharing that because guys, if there's men out here watching this, I think it's so important. Yes, I'm a woman, but
Yes.
I feel like I don't know,
Yeah.
Jonathan, especially nowadays, I feel like it's always like, oh, woman this or what like you have to just treat people like
General.
yeah, right. And something I always talk about, and I'm gonna get to where I'm going because I love everything you said because I feel like especially nowadays we have this concept of like somebody else has to come in my life and make it better, or someone has to come in my life and make me
Hmm.
happy. But when
Right.
especially nowadays, the way like you see how it is, like even
Yeah.
with relationships, even in the
Yeah.
dating world, I'm like, what's
Hmm.
happening here? Like
Hmm.
to a degree, we're selfish because we want someone to come and fix our world, and that's not how it works. And this is why there's so many failed relationships, so many traumatized people, including myself. Okay.
Hmm.
But it's true. I love how you said, you know what? Yes, I failed. And it's hard when people come at you, or people, especially people that you loved or you thought you loved, and they're bashing on you, and they're putting you down. Like, first of all, I'm sorry you had to go through that, but
Thank you.
second of all, I salute you for like saying, you know what? No, I'm not going to stay down, because Jonathan, let's be real. There's a lot of people who sometimes can fall into depression and not know how to get out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because life is hard. And then when you're with somebody who, I mean, I'm not saying they made it worse, but to a degree, you experience things, right?
Right.
Um, it makes it difficult, and it does mess with your like your self-esteem. It can mess with like your mental health, right?
Hmm. Yep.
So honestly, first of all, I applaud you, because not everybody can get out of that mud. Not
Yeah.
everybody can, and sometimes people will turn to, like, I don't know, to do things that are not
Yep.
good for them. Right?
Yep. Yep. Drugs, alcohol, just being a bad person, a rude person. Like they take that stored energy, is what I call
Hmm.
it, that stored
Yeah.
energy, and just put it into a negative energy. It's like
Yeah.
it's a neutral type of energy that you store within yourself, but then you get to choose, like you said earlier, it's
True.
a choice. You
Hmm.
get to choose. I want to be positive, or do I
Hmm.
want to be a negative person?
Yeah.
And sadly, there's a lot of us out there, a lot of sad people out there, a lot
Yeah.
of
So
hurt
true.
people. And
Mm.
to be quite honest with you, me as a man, like being able to be open and talk about whatever it is, experience,
Yeah.
my emotions. And the thing is that when you have daughters,
Hmm.
they're a whole different ball game.
Yeah. You
Um,
have two girls, right? You said.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
have two boys and two girls. But the
Okay.
boys, the boys didn't, the boys are not gonna give you a lesson because they're the protectors, right? They're the one that's
Mm-hmm.
gonna protect. And
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
felt like the two girls was the one who gave me a lot of hope,
Mm.
gave me a lot of courage. It's just that, like I told you, like I was so focused on them that I wasn't seeing what
Yeah.
they're telling me. Like, hey, daddy, you can get out of this. Hey,
Wow.
dad, you're the greatest dad in the world. Like, hey, I love you so
Oh.
much. Like, take care of yourself. And you're just robotically like, oh, yes,
Yes.
I love you. Uh huh. Like, you're just this robot. Oh,
Like an
okay.
automatic thing.
Yeah. Because you're just, reciprocating,
Program
but
kind of
not,
even.
yeah. And you're not even really taking accountability to what they're trying to tell you. Like, hey, it's okay. You can cry. Hey,
Yeah.
it's okay.
Wow.
You can lay in bed today. Just go ahead and just, just sleep, or go ahead and watch
Oh,
movies all day. Here, tell yourself, you're beautiful, you're handsome, you're strong. And
I
you as
love
a
that.
father, yeah, you as a father, like, then you start to learn now, okay, cool. Leilani was like really one of the daughters that was really there for everything, and she did
Mm.
not once let me like relive anything. She's like,
Oh,
nope, nope, nope. We're not doing
oh,
this today. We're not doing this today. Let's go. Daddy, this.
let's
Like,
go
and she,
outside. Let's go. Uh-huh.
yeah, yeah, that's and
Wow.
Zoe is a distraction of like just watching her creativity, watching her,
Yeah.
draw me, and draw, like, just do a bunch of creative stuff. and
Still, yeah.
and like I said, trust me,
Ooh,
you think it's easy. Yes, it is easy. It's just you gotta just make that easy for yourself, and not, be too hard. Like, give yourself some grace,
that part.
apply to yourself. Yeah, apply to yourself like you would apply it to anybody else. Like, you can't be this
Mm,
positive person
so
and then
true.
you are so negative to you. Like,
Oh my God. Okay, John, that does stop, because
yeah,
that's you're preaching today. And this
yeah.
is no, and this is so true, because I remember my ex, sometimes when he would tell me, he'd be like, how are you posting all this positive stuff? And then in my mind, but in my mind, it was like, but it's true. I mean, it's a wake-up call, but I would be like, no, if I see something, is because I felt it. So I would just share it, right? But
Hmm.
but it's so true that like we can repost quotes or videos, but then like really sometimes, like they say, our worst enemy is us sometimes. That's why I always say, when we look in the mirror, like, we're our biggest judge judgers. Is that a word? I don't know. If not, I just made it up.
Yeah.
We judge
Yeah.
ourselves.
Yeah.
um, and it's so true. Like it's easy for me to be like, "Hey, Jonathan, you're doing great," and then I'd be like, I have to say that for myself too. And I
Hmm.
think that goes back to kind of like what we started talking about at the beginning, where it's like
Yeah.
we because of life, we start doubting us, or we start um waiting for approval from others, and
Right.
really it starts with us. And I almost got emotional, when you're talking about your daughters, because I don't know if our kids, I think this could be applied for many people, but how many times, not saying that they saved us, but to a degree, because gosh, you look at your kids and you're like, it gives you that strength,
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
honestly, and I love again what you're sharing, Jonathan, and I'll let you take the mic again. Sorry, I just had to say this, but I think it's
No,
just
you're
so,
good.
I love to be able to give flowers not just to women, to men too, because there's stigmas out there, right? There is statistics, but at the end of the day, that does not mean every single woman is good or bad, and that doesn't mean every
Right.
single man or father is bad, or you know what I'm saying.
Hmm.
So I feel
Yeah.
like it is important. And I can't speak because I'm not a man, but I do feel um like, men, sometimes you guys just need to be heard and seen more. You know what I'm saying? Especially
Yeah.
when you're out here trying to truly be active in your kid's life. You're trying to, you know what I'm saying? Like it's just very, and I'm sure
Yes.
men, if any men are watching, and they can relate, whether you're a father or not. Like I think it's just,
Yeah.
this world is hard. They put a lot of
Yeah.
like pressure or stigmas for men, the same as women, right? Would you agree?
Right. Yeah, definitely. And like I said, man, a shout out to all the dads, man. Like the quiet ones, the ones
Mm,
that nobody sees, the only people that sees them is their children. Like shout out to them. And
yeah.
shout out to like, Wheel 84, Tongue Beats, like those
By the way,
guys.
they never haven't responded to me. But anyways, okay, go
Don't
ahead. I'm
worry.
just kidding.
Yeah, don't
I'm
worry.
just kidding.
They'll holler. Right now they're working on albums and
No,
stuff
no,
like
I'm
that.
just kidding. I'm just giving a hard
Yeah.
time. Yeah.
No, but
No,
yeah.
but
So, but
seriously.
like, yeah, shout out to them. Their positive music, that I
Oh, I
share all
love
the
the
time.
song.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and you guys know this. And like I said, and like let's talk about the word goal, right? Like
Yes.
I used to always just say like, hey, I have a goal, I have a goal, I have a goal, I have a goal, I have a goal. But like I'm
Mhm.
gonna be honest with you. I took the word goal and like made it into like a kind of like a quote, right? Like
You
get
dissect
out.
it.
Huh? I'm like,
Oh,
get
okay.
out and learn. That's my quote for goal. Get out and learn. Because you can have
Oh,
a
get
goal.
okay, I like that.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, just get out there. You gotta learn. And it came to, like I said, it goes back to like me meeting random people and asking them
Yeah.
questions. And also, guys, the thing is with men, it's like we give up on love faster than women.
Mm.
And trust me, God is love, man. And if you give it up, then you're giving up on God, and you're not taking His blessings, and you're not grateful
Wow.
with whatever that's surrounding you. And you think everything happens for a reason. Yes, it's in His plans, not yours. So
Mm.
take the time to really think about being, like I said. I'm always like, be nice, be honest, don't be a jerk. You know, um, and life will come at you, whether it's going to be on tomorrow,
Mhm.
next month, but whatever. Like, take that, be
Yeah.
grateful.
No, I
Yeah.
I I love that you said that, and again, I love when I do these interviews, Jonathan, because I know I always take something and I always learn something, and sometimes we need to
Yeah.
hear certain things or even be reminded, and I feel
Right.
like it all kind of ties into what we're talking about, because just the things that we go through in life, even with relationships, with just life. Sometimes you do feel, or you get to that point of wanting to give up. I've
Yeah.
been there. Even with God, like I don't know whoever's watching, whatever your belief system is, but like even for myself, and I actually had a conversation with him yesterday. If my mom's watching, she's gonna be really happy. But I literally was like, I was in tears. I'm like, God, like just restore the relationship, and I'm in my belief too, Jonathan, because I've gone through a lot
Hmm.
of stuff too. And I'm not gonna get into
Yeah.
that. We're not talking about me, but I'm saying like because life happens, a lot of times we do lose faith. We do
Yeah.
lose faith in people, in love, in God, and I think all of that starts to kind of like pile on, and then we start to slowly get bitter and sad and mad, and I feel
Yeah.
like that's a beautiful way that you said that. So I know you kind of summarized kind of what you went through, but would you say when you went through that phase, I mean with not phase, but sorry, that time with like from your dad to all the way to like when in relationships, when you had kids, when you had you went through like a really hard time. Like what really, I know you said you decided, but what helped you to get to that place? Like, because I know we're going to talk about mental health, which is all included, right? But
Yeah,
what did you do to be like, no, listen, this is what I need to do. I need to get myself together in a way. You know what I mean?
yeah. So maybe many people might not believe or agree with me, but I'm telling you, I read the Bible a lot,
Wow.
and I would read random pages on the Bible.
Mm,
I don't go to the Bible and say, okay, today I'm going to read Proverbs. Tomorrow I'm going to
mm-hmm,
read Genesis. Tomorrow I'm
mm-hmm.
going to do John. And tomorrow I'm going to do, no, none of that. I open the book, and wherever it lands is what I read.
Oh, wow.
And I don't want to, I'm not like other people where we write down, okay, I read today, Job's or whatever. Like I don't.
Yeah.
Like the thing is that if God is talking to me, He's gonna talk to me, and I'm not gonna
Mm,
be a student and write it down.
mm,
That's what it is, to be honest. It's like every time I touch the Bible, and every time I see life, the Bible answers like what happened to me 10 years ago. The
mm,
Bible would
mhm.
answer what happened to me yesterday. Like it's a random like journey, and it's tough because it's like
Yeah.
it's not in order to where it's going to be easy for you. So
Mhm,
yeah, so I could be reading the Bible, today, and guys, just for me, it's 10 minutes. I
mhm,
literally just I read the
mhm.
Gospels or whatever it is, and then it would have an answer.
Wow.
And that's why I said like I kind of that's what it is. That's the game changer for me, and the more I store that positive, information, the more I start to arise pretty much. The darkness is turning into light,
Mm,
and now I'm like, I thank you for that, that hardship. Thank you for that heartbreak.
mm,
Thank you for that dumb decision I made. Thank you for
mm.
because now because now I can start all over.
Yeah.
It's okay to start all over because you're starting
100%.
with experience now. You're not
Yeah.
starting from scratch, like you're not just this blank paper. Now you have notes of your own life in your own book, and
I
now you're like,
love that.
okay, I'm gonna get into this relationship with this person. I don't like that, but again, I'm not gonna, let you just go because I don't like one thing about you. I'm gonna give you the benefit of the
Mhm,
doubt. Da da da
mhm,
da da, right? And then now like for sure, okay, I don't like the way you talk to me.
mm.
So I've been trying to
Those
help you,
boundaries.
but
Yes.
yeah, like like, and you're not, so bye, or
He said bye.
oh yeah, or bye. I really do. I'd be like, peace.
But you know what? Sorry, Jonathan, you're so
Yeah.
right because, like, well, there's so many things. First of all, so from what I'm hearing is that the relationship with God is what helped you, obviously, Bible and
Right.
stuff like that, which that's
Right.
amazing. And
Hmm.
and and you're right. I feel like especially nowadays, I mean, I'm sure I'm way older than you, but I'm saying like I think like you said, as you live life, it's also a choice
Well,
though
first
to
of all, Cynthia, how
what?
do you think I am? Yeah, I'm way older than you. Hold up, time out. I just turned 43 on Wednesday
That's right.
last week.
That's right.
Yeah.
Happy late birthday again.
Thank you.
Yeah,
So
4
yeah.
no, you're young. So you're younger than me. So yeah, well, we are not gonna say my
Yeah.
age. I'm just kidding.
Oh,
People know me.
oh,
Like
my
he's like,
bad.
oh,
Sorry. That was a
he's like,
setup. That was a setup.
he's
Right.
like
That was a
moving
setup.
on.
Sorry.
No, but I
Moving
was
on.
I'm just kidding. I'm not ashamed of my age. But what I was gonna say
Don't be.
is I feel like, as you get older, but that's also a choice of learning from the
Hmm.
lessons because
Right.
I'm guilty. Sometimes you go through things and we're so hard headed and you're
Oh
like,
yeah.
oh, and when you
Hell
and
yeah.
you no, not just hard headed, but we don't do anything to work on us, and then we expect different outcomes. It's kind of like the word, what is it, ludicrous or no? What's it? Yeah,
Yep.
like when you just
Yep.
and you
Yeah.
expect different outcomes because I feel like you do have to do the work, like the inner work with self work, whether that's like you said with mending your relationship with God, taking time for you to heal. Because I feel like you said earlier, there is a lot of people who are so hurt and broken, and I'm gonna be honest, including myself. Like I'm working on it, but it's hard when you do go through a lot of like heartache and situations that were just difficult. It's like I'm good, I'm
Yeah.
good, I'm good. I consider myself a very positive person too, but I think sometimes we ignore like that inner oh my god, what's the word? I guess you could say inner trauma or the things that you've gone through. You're like, I'm good, but then you just don't. And I think it's just so important to be able to like analyze and say, okay, hold on a second. Why am I feeling like this? Or why can't I get over this? Or why does certain things trigger me? And I feel like I said, I salute you because a lot of people don't do the work. They want different outcomes, but they don't do the work. And I think it's everything at the end of the day, you guys, is a choice. If we
Right.
want to do better, be better, it starts with us, right?
Hmm. Yeah.
I mean,
And you to piggyback on that, like again, I'm a firm believer in like, okay, if God gave you already what you need,
mm-hmm,
but like you're content with that little thing that He gave you, and
uh-huh.
then you're not putting in the work, guess what? That little
Mm,
thing is going to be little. And it's like accept the blessings, but also work for it. Because if you pray for something, let's just say you pray for a good health, right? And He's giving you the best health of your life for a whole year, and you're still smoking and you're still drinking, like,
that part.
every day, right? And you're still like eating, junk or whatever.
Mhm.
I mean, what do you think your second year is going to be? How's that blessing going to
This is
look? It's
true.
not. Yeah. So, like I always encourage people, like, okay, God is always going to put His hands on you. God is always going to bless you. God is always going to tell you, like, hey, my child, I love you, and this is where I'm going to leave you. Now it's your turn. You're going to walk. You're going to carry your cross, and you're going to walk.
Oof,
And that's
that's
just
true.
like, and that's what I do every day. Like whatever, the consequences of whatever I did to anybody or as a child, it comes back, and I have to be mindful of being upset or retaliation or vengeance or anger.
This
I got
is
to be
true.
mindful. And yeah, and that's why I said, like, there's a lesson in every turn.
It,
And
it's so true. We have, I think, a friend that's here, Nurse USA 08. I don't know. She said, "Hi, handsome." She said, "Amen. God is
mm,
good. Hallelujah." So, and you know what? And it's so true, Jonathan, because I feel like it's like you said, even with the prayer, right? And like you're like, I remember when I haven't been to church in a while, but anyways, but when growing up, I did. I mean, that's a whole nother story, but but no, what I was gonna say, it's so easy to be like, "Can you please pray for me? Please pray for me. Please pray for me." Or a lot of times people will they want something miraculous to happen, but you have to understand, you have to do the work. Like you can't just expect. Imagine if that's the case. Shoot, we'd all be like,
yeah,
we'd all be
right,
rich. We'd all be, you know what I'm saying?
exactly, exactly.
I mean, and that's the thing. It is so true, but you're right. Like you have to. It's like me too. I'm on this journey of like getting more healthier, and this I have goals for this year for my health too. But I can't be like, God, please make me fit. Like He's gonna be like, girl, I'll be there with you, but you got to get your
Yeah,
butt up and go to the
yeah,
gym. You got to eat
yeah,
better, right?
yeah. He's, like I said, he's the best provider, the best supporter, the best healer. So if you're getting up and you're trying to get yourself out of bed, and He's right there. He already woke you up today. You know,
Hmm.
that's His job. He got you up. Now do your part.
Like,
What's
what are
your
you gonna do?
part?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's true. And
yeah.
but the thing is, as human beings, I feel like we like again, like even going back to like what we talked about, like relationships or about this and that,
Hmm.
we're so used to almost like just expecting someone to come save us, and that's the thing where we have to switch it. Like you said, God puts everything for us, but He's gonna let us. We have to do the work. We have to want it. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
and that and that's the thing I think with a lot of people that sometimes we just don't want to do the work when it comes
Yeah,
to mental health.
definitely.
Let's talk about mental health because obviously I have a feeling I
Yes.
know we're gonna go with that. But I mean,
Yeah.
that is such a big thing. Like that part, I feel like, especially nowadays, oh
Ooh.
man, I know
Oof.
it's
Yeah.
it's tough, but you know what, Jonathan, and tell me what you think on this. But I feel like it's real easy to be like, oh, I'm fine, I'm good. Like I said, even myself, there's still stuff
Yeah.
inside me that I know I have to go to therapy and I have to address. And sometimes it's easier to scroll on TikTok, to scroll on just
Hmm.
social media and not address the things because
Right.
I always tell my kids this and everybody, the things that we went through, it sucks and it does affect you, but we're not there anymore. But if it's still
Hmm.
something still affecting, like what are we
Yes.
gonna do? And that's why where mental health comes in because there's so many people out there. This is why they go to drugs, they go to alcohol, they go to, or they just kind of lose it like mentally
Yeah.
because they don't know how to address it. Now,
Yes.
Would you say you ever went through a phase where, or a time in your life where you were just like, I don't know what to do? You're like, let me tell
um,
you.
I'll put it like this: teenage daughter going through her, womanhood
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
or whatever.
Yeah.
Super panic, right?
Ooh.
I'm like, like what the hell? I don't know what I'm doing. Like, what do you need from me? What do you want from me? Like, I'm confused. I'm buying things that I'm
Like
gonna
you
tell
had
you
no
right now.
clue.
Yeah, I bought diapers for her. Like, what's going on? And yeah, I didn't know nothing. But I'm telling you, with that panic, with that emotion, with that whole
That moment of
situation,
mm-hmm.
yeah, I sat there and I just watched her cry, and
Oh.
and I'm like, okay, cool, I'm gonna figure this out. And
Wait,
so
John, sorry. Are you? Do you have them full time?
no,
Your
so
girls? Oh, okay. Just like when you had.
so my daughter Zoe, I do have her 48%, but she lives in LA, and then I get
Okay.
her every holiday, every summer,
Okay. Okay.
And Leilani, she does live here, and she's down the street. She used to stay with me. We used to, but she has to know her mama too, so
Of course.
we
Yeah. Sorry. I
share,
just had
and
to
then
ask. Like,
yeah,
go on
yeah.
with the story. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
And so yeah,
That
so
was
when she was going
challenging.
through that, yeah, trust me. And like I said, and that's the part where you get to start to tell yourself that, okay, I need to learn. And that's what I was telling you, that daughters are angels to fathers, I promise you,
Man. Yeah.
because they take the hard part of you and soften. They take the
I like that.
mentality, yeah, they take the mentality that you have of this sigma of like, I'm a man. I don't
Mm,
share. I don't cry. Like that. Oh, stuff
yeah.
like that. And they take that and they put it in a little whirlwind, and they nope. Because now my tone to my girls, if I even set a tone, they're both crying before I even finish the sentence, and I
Oh,
don't know why. And then I get like, "Hey, I'm just talking normal,"
yeah.
and it's like,
Yeah.
"Woo, woo, 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 woo." So now I have to, when I talk to them, I have to go Nani, or Zoe, and it's
Mhm.
like da 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 da.
Well, yeah, I
So
was gonna say, but you know what, Jonathan? Honestly, I feel I love how you're saying that because you said they soften you, and I think that's important for men to know that it's okay to do that because
yeah.
I know for a fact, not every man would open up to that. They're just like, listen, this is how it is. I don't care if you cry and da 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 da. So
Yeah.
I think that's really, excuse me, vulnerable of you to even share that because I think this again, maybe we should title. I should do a podcast talking about stigmas, right? Because
Yeah.
I feel like in this life and society, we have these stigmas of like the man father is supposed to be like this, the woman as a mom, this is your role, this is your role. When in reality, I
Mhm.
feel like, I mean, yes, to a degree, there's certain things, but like
Right.
that comes naturally. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But I feel like if you're open to like be like, okay, um, wow, maybe my girls are just more sensitive. I'm not, and then I've heard it from men too, like, oh my gosh, women are so emotional, which we are emotional creatures. But I think it's just important because you know how when they say, and Jonathan, I don't know what you think, you say like, man, you always think of like, what man is my daughter gonna get? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, and the first man they see is their father, and
Hmm.
so I think that's very important because I think if we allow, but again, stigmas and the world tells men, no, you're tough,
Yeah.
you're rough, you can't be soft. Like
And
it can't be
that's the, how do I say this? That's the
gen-
general,
thought
you
process
know,
or stigma. Yeah.
yeah. And um that whole macho thing, for
Yeah.
me, I feel like you're more macho, you're more of a man if you are able to control your emotions, speak about your
Mm,
emotions, express your emotions.
yes.
And when, let's go back to like what you said, like as a role, right? It's natural. Like the woman that you're gonna be with is gonna naturally gravitate and be like, oh, I trust him, so whatever he says, we're gonna do. And a
Mm,
man goes, that's, she trusts me. I like the support, and I'll do anything for this woman. and,
yeah.
and respect and all of that, and
Yeah.
it's all gonna come together with just two things, like honesty and trust, and period. Love is already there, and love is God, and
This
He's in
is
the middle. And
wow.
that's, and again, like everybody always pray for a better man, pray for a better woman,
It's so
and
true.
but you sit there and you don't do nothing about it. So how are you going to change yourself and get that better woman, and if you're still the same
Mm.
person yesterday? Like
How do the kids nowadays do? How they do? Or how they do?
they're like, period. Yeah. And
Wait,
then like
I have to pause you there, Jonathan, because
okay,
you're preaching, guys. If you guys are watching, like we're talking about everything right here, which is
yeah,
so good. But
yeah,
it's so true. I mean, if we could talk about that, and maybe on another episode we could talk about that relationships, right? Like
yeah,
it's like, especially nowadays, Jonathan. I don't know if you see it. I mean, you see it on social media everywhere. I mean, it's kind of like everyone kind of has this concept of relationships. Like it's
right,
kind of like
right,
it's
right,
kind of
right, right.
really toxic. But what I'm saying
Yeah,
is, like, a lot of times men are like, "Oh, I want me to be like this," and then women are like, "I don't need a man." But da-da-da. So it's like we're all hurt. I think at the end of the day, because I feel like, again, a lot of women nowadays are like in their masculine energy because of situations with men, right? And then men are like, well, I need you to be in your feminine energy, but they're not allowing that. So it's kind of like, but again, it goes back to what we were talking about at the beginning. There's all these stigmas and expectation of others, when in reality, if every single one of us would take time to work on self,
yeah,
and to be like,
right,
hold on a second, this is what I need to heal.
right,
Why is this triggering me? How can I be better? Because I feel like if we don't do that, we're consistently going to be let down. We're going to consistently going to be like, they're not good enough. And we have to have boundaries. But I think ultimately, if when we do take care of ourselves and we do put in the work, like you said earlier, then,
mhm,
like you said, if you're talking to someone, mm, I think I'm
yeah,
good, like I
yeah,
distance, or you know what I mean, or you make better
yeah,
choices.
yeah.
Would you
And then
agree?
yeah, I agree. And to be clear, boundaries are not made for the other person, people. Like boundaries are made for you.
That
That's
part.
you.
Ooh,
That's yours. That's yours to not let anybody, get in
yes.
that. Like, and that's why it's really important to, like, going back, just love yourself first.
Mm.
Find out what makes you happy, because I'm always gonna say this, and my family or my sisters be like, dude, it's not that simple. It is. Um, love is really simple. Only
Mm.
you make it hard. Period.
Ooh,
And yeah,
that's
like
true.
you, you know, just all I gotta say is that's it. That's plain and simple. Love is easy because it shouldn't be hard. And
We make it
if
hard. We're the ones that make
yeah, if you make it hard, then that's just what it is. I
it.
mean,
Yeah.
yeah. And
That's it,
again,
guys. It's you. You're the problem. No, I'm
yeah,
just kidding.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, you said guys? Or like
Oh, sorry.
guys? Oh, no, 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 no. She didn't mean guys.
No, no, no. I
No, no,
didn't mean
no.
like you got, like, you know what I
Yeah,
mean.
yeah, yeah,
Generalize.
yeah, yeah.
No, no, no. But
Generalize.
no, but honestly, you're right, Jonathan. And I'm glad you said that. I think I've said this probably in every single podcast, but I never forget certain things stick to you, right?
Yeah,
And what my friend told me this one time, I was like, oh my God, it's so hard. She looked at me straight in the eyes and said, it's hard because you saying it's hard. And that doesn't mean, you guys, if you're listening, and when I say guys, I mean women and men, okay? Um, but I'm saying, like, it doesn't mean you're not gonna go through hardships, but again, it's how we choose to see it, how we choose
hmm,
to react to it, and
right,
what we choose to do about it, right? Because at the end of the day, it's a choice. It's a choice,
right,
and you are right, Jonathan. It's up to us whether we say, okay, what can I learn from this situation? How
right.
can I be better? If we made a bad choice, okay, what can I
Learn
learn
from
so that
it.
I so I don't
Yeah,
repeat
yeah.
it,
Learn
right?
from it. Learn from it.
Man,
And
it's
yeah.
true.
And also, like, we're so used to being in a relationship where, the other person would get upset with you and they'll tell you like the worst, right? And
Mm,
then you in that emotional state, you're not yet
mm,
letting that word settle in yet, because
mm,
you're still raging, right? And
yeah.
then when the water's calm and the sun is out and the birds are singing, it rolls back. And then you
Mm,
replay that part only, but you're missing the lesson because now you're just in this anger, and then you're just seeping, just let it that, and you're just like,
that's true.
and then now you start to lose, faith and love in that person,
Dang,
and
that's
that's the
true.
problem. That's the problem. Like, learn the lesson, forget the words that were said. Obviously, and that's the thing. Watch what you say. The
Mm.
mental part,
Think
the
before you
mental
talk.
health.
I think is
Yes,
important.
the mental health is that part where
Yes.
you say it, please just make sure it's something that you don't want to, take back.
That's, and
Because
and I think
Mhm.
that's important. And I feel like, excuse me, a lot of times, like oh my God, you said so many great things. I hope you guys are taking notes. If you guys are watching, if you guys have any questions, please interact in the chat, because we want to, we want to hear what you guys have to say.
yeah,
But it is so true. Many times, even when you go to therapy, because I've gone when they're like, if you're mad, don't like argue, don't address whatever you're addressing at that moment. Like, take a minute,
right.
calm yourself, and then come back and address whatever situation, right? And I think a lot of times this is why we do regret like what we say or even actions that we take, because we're like, oh, we let the moment of anger or whatever.
Yeah.
um but yes, nowadays I feel like a lot of people are, I don't like the word broken, but I mean like an emotional way, maybe like in a the mental way, because it's like, because of so much things that happen. But I think hopefully this podcast, you guys, if you're listening, hopefully it gives you hope on saying, hey, I can turn things around. I always tell people, regardless, we know life obviously is not going to be pink roses all the time, because that's, but
Yeah.
again, if you prepare yourself knowing that, then you're like, okay, if I go through something, what can I learn from this, right? How can I grow from this? If we make a bad
Right.
choice, then it's up to us on saying, okay, what do I need to do to not do this again, or to not repeat this cycle, if you will, or and ultimately it is accountability, because again, we want people to come and save us. We want God to fix everything. It's like this. We want people to pray and change our lives. We want someone to come in our life and just treat us like we want to, but we're not doing any of the work. And I
Hmm.
think until we do that, guess what? We're just not going to be happy with, like, it starts with us. And I
Hmm.
think it's so easier to point fingers. It's easier
Right.
to get distracted. It's easier to blame versus like, okay, maybe
Yeah.
I need to remove myself from this environment. Maybe
Right.
I need to distance myself from these people. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, again, surround yourself with people that are in the same mindset.
Mm.
Um, and also too, try to help the people that need help. Because like I told you, in before we started the live,
Mhm.
I said, I'm positive for a reason. I never know if that person behind that screen needs
Mm.
some information, some
This is
some
true.
advice, and then you're like thinking like you're just being positive, but no, like they needed that from you,
Yeah.
because you never know. They're probably like on the edge of a cliff, or like thinking
Man.
about suicide, or thinking about just giving up on life in general. Like, that's why I say, like, when you throw positivity, like, you never know who's going to come across your
Mm.
videos or your story, and you're just like, they're like, oh my God, like,
Wow.
that guy or that girl knows what's up. I can
Mhm.
relate. So now they're going through all of your videos, and then they're
Or even
seeing.
just making them smile, making them laugh. It's like you
Right, exactly, making
right?
them like smile for the day because they had the awful coffee this morning. I don't know, right?
No,
And
you're so right. I mean, like, guys, and by the way, it's right here. It keeps replaying on the bottom. If you haven't followed Jonathan on TikTok, make sure
oh
you do, because I know he'd be funny on TikTok too. He'd be putting a lot of
yeah,
funny stuff.
yeah.
But it's as simple as that. And you know what, Jonathan, you're right, because I remember me in these years that I've been like doing content or on social media, whatever. There has of course been days where I'm like, oh, you know what, maybe I shouldn't do this. But then you get that one person that will text you or message you and be like, dang, thank you so much for being so positive, or thank you for doing this. And you're like, to me, even if it's one person, like that makes my heart like
Yeah,
happy. You're
yeah.
gonna get people who are gonna say, why are you doing that? But I'm like, at the end of the day, again, we give so much power. You guys, I have advertised this so many times, but trust me when I say you, the book Let Them Theory by Matt Robbins is so good, because
Yeah.
it kind of like generalizes, that's the word, that's the hard word for the day,
Right.
the concept that we have, because we give so much power to other people, whether that's like,
Mm-hmm.
are they gonna accept me, is this video good enough, am I gonna get enough
Yeah.
likes, am I gonna get, we give so much
Yeah.
power to people, Jonathan, that it's
Yeah.
crazy. So if you're like, you know what, let people think, because guess what, every person out there has their own things that they're battling with. So
Right.
I think it starts
Exactly.
again with loving you, like you said today, loving yourself, making the choice to be a better person for you. Because once you
Mm-hmm.
do that, then that allows you to be a better father, me a better mom, me a better
Yeah.
friend, a better, right?
Yeah. A better
And I'm sure that's
partner.
what
A
happened to
better.
you.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
It's simple, you
like I
guys.
said, yeah.
Easier said than
No.
done.
Right. And I like to think too, like, obviously it is simple, like I said, everybody always
A
says
choice.
easier said than done, and I said no, like just do it.
Just do
The word
true.
fail means to
Mm.
me the first attempt in learning. That's how I see the word fail, like the first attempt in
Okay,
learning.
with the words today, somebody need to
But
be putting them on there.
but you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
like I always
first attempt in learning. Okay, I like
yeah,
that.
and then like like, and everybody will say, "Oh, but I have a fear in this." Hey, take your fear, and you gotta face everything and rise. That's your
Mm,
fear. Face everything and rise. And I kind of take everything I say, every advice I give. I try to honor that stuff
I
on
love that.
by myself.
Yeah.
And I would have one on one with my daughters. Like I'll have
Mhm.
them in the Jeep, and we'll drive, and I have to pause the music and be like, "Okay, girls, I have to tell you guys something." And I will like
Mhm.
speak to them. I'll be emotional. I'm crying and I'm talking to them. And I
Aw.
say, I really want what I want the world for you guys. I would, carry all of your mistakes on my back.
Mhm.
I'll take all of your fails on my back, and I'll pick you back up and say,
Yeah.
go and do it again. You're gonna
Mhm.
learn.
Mm.
And I tell them, I said, you will never know how to lose if you always win. Like, come on,
True.
let's keep losing, let's keep learning, and we will get better. I
Yeah.
mean, unfortunately, I tell them like, your dad, it took him a while, but I did it on my own.
But you
And that's
got there.
yeah, and that's like I told him, I said, it probably took me a while. Maybe it won't take you a while, but I
Yeah.
told him, I said, but I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm here for you guys whenever you need me. I text them every morning,
Aw.
just to let them know, like, and I don't want to text back. I just want them to know.
Yeah,
But
I
like,
love that.
but they do text back, you
But
know.
no, but I was gonna say, what a beautiful example though, because it's like obviously, even talking about kids, like once even like my kids are grown, like you get to a point where you obviously you wish you could like protect them from everything, right? Especially heartache or whatever. But the fact, but if they can see the example and you and say, okay, well, you know what, this maybe I'm going through something, but dad always showed us that no matter what, like we push through, like we're gonna be
Right.
okay, and
Yeah.
I think that's so beautiful that you do that, because I think that's very important, is that, and also being real, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
you have to be well, just realistic with us, number one.
Yeah.
Life, okay, what do I have to do? And sometimes we don't want to face the things that we have to face. You said something, fear as well. The fear is such a big thing as well.
Yeah.
People overthink, or they're in fear of something that's not even happening yet, but I think we're just like, and we live in this, and that's not a way to live either, because I feel like life is so beautiful, but like you said, we are the ones that make it more difficult. And of course, people are going to be like, well, what do you mean? Look at the world. Yes, but it's also a choice on where you focus on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like if every day, like for example, me, I don't really like waking up and looking at what's happening in the world, because crazy stuff out there,
Yeah.
right?
No. Yeah.
Some things you can't um deny, or you can't like ignore, but still I feel like at the end of the day, you still can make the choice on where you put your focus on,
Right.
and like you said, Jonathan, I feel like, I mean, you just said something to me too, which is a lesson. Like, don't just say it's easier said than done, because when we speak that way, then we're automatically saying I can't do
Yeah.
it, right?
Yeah. You can't do it. Yes. Exactly.
So
Yeah.
going back to like the things we speak, the things we thought, the only people I always say this, the what we have control of is what we think, even though you might have
Yeah.
doubt, but you're like, I'm gonna be okay, I'm good,
Yeah.
I'm doing this,
Yeah.
Oh, excuse
Yeah.
me.
Exactly. And like also, your support group, right? I have such a big family, and
I
they're
love that
such
support.
tremendous supporters to
Oh,
whatever it is that I went through.
mm,
Like I've I've witnessed family where they were like, see, I told you.
mm,
But like, man, my family, it's more like, come in,
come here.
you know. They don't,
You're gonna be good.
yeah, they don't want to ask until you're ready. And then
Mm,
when you're ready, and then they'll say, okay, like they'll give you advice, or
yeah,
they'll say, maybe don't worry, the next time you'll get it. Um, and they always would always remind you, like my brother, he would always remind me like, hey, don't forget about the girls,
I
like,
love
oh,
that.
and then like my sisters will be like, like, don't worry, we got you. We'll watch the girls for you. My
Yeah,
sister-in-laws, like all of my family, like we have such a great support group.
I love
and
that.
and like when trust me, they come through you know, in the time of need
When
that
you need it.
you never thought you would need.
Mm,
And then all of a sudden it's like, boom, and they're all there. And it's
love
because
that.
they know, like, because they know that when they're down, like I can be there. They need
Yeah,
something, they know that I'll be there. And
I
that's
love
the
that.
thing. It's like that's why I said that's why I love teaching my girls that you gotta be around the family. Hey, you gotta go
Yeah,
see uncle, go see auntie, go to
yeah,
birthdays, go to cousins, go to sisters. Thing about
yeah.
my family, we don't my mom's side actually, they don't have like cousins.
Mhm.
So we all grew up staying with brothers and sisters. So
Oh,
yeah, can you imagine like you as a eighth grader going to America and they're asking you, oh, can you tell us how many siblings you have? And you're like, oh, I got 22. And they're like this,
I got
all from yeah, all from the same parents. And then you're like, oh no. And then you're trying to tell them that these are your brothers
a
and these are your sisters, but really in reality it's just you and your sister. But like
Wow.
but our culture, it runs so deep in our blood and the roots,
Yeah.
that we follow through and through. So we teach
Wow.
our kids too. Those are not your cousins. They're your siblings. Go to your brother, go
Oh,
to your sister, go check. And we always say brothers and sisters to everybody.
I
So
love
yeah,
that. And
and so
I'll just
trying to
say
spread it.
no, and I think that's really cool. And obviously, and I think that's such a beautiful thing because having a village, behind to support you is definitely helps like
A
tremendously.
tribe.
Yeah,
It's a
tribe.
tribe,
A
it's a
tribe. He's like,
tribe.
"Not village, it's a tribe."
It's a tribe,
Yeah, it's a
you
tribe.
know.
Well, and I love and okay, and people might be listening, and if you don't have that, you're like, "Well, Cynthia, well, I don't have that support." I think at the end of the day, it could start
Mm,
with you, right? It could start
yes.
with you. Like you
You
start
build it.
that.
Yes. Be
That
that
part.
foundation to build
Mm,
that. Be
mhm.
that first drop of water to that root and grow that. Like, come
I
on,
love that.
guys. Like, just,
No, it's
yeah.
true. At the end of the day, Jonathan, and I've loved this conversation because hopefully if you guys are watching, you guys can not just have a sense of hope, but also understand, oh, okay, hold on. My past doesn't define who I am now.
Yes.
Our past doesn't define our future, right?
Hmm.
Um, our past doesn't even define the outcome of how life is going to be. I feel like you just
Right.
have to embrace the journey and be like, listen, okay, this is what I went through. At the end of the day, if I get anything from even the conversation with you, it's like it starts with me. Like
Yeah.
it's a choice on how
Please.
I view things and what I'm gonna do moving forward,
Right. Yeah.
right?
Yeah. And, work everywhere. Just make sure, like, your actions, you control your emotions, you
Yeah,
control your temperament, or even just
true.
be nice. Be
Just be
nice.
nice.
Be nice, be nice. Don't be a jerk, you
It's
know.
true, but what? Now you're saying that we're at the hour mark, but I'm okay as long as
Awesome.
you're okay with your time. But I
Yeah.
know even that, Jonathan, I feel like a lot of times people, it's not that they're mean, right? It's not that they're like, because I don't think anybody's born a jerk, or at least I don't think. Um, but I feel like again, it's just I feel people who are mean is just because they haven't done the work to like dig deeper into like, why am I upset?
Yeah.
Why am I mad at the world? What
Yeah.
can I do to start healing? And let me tell you guys, the healing process is not an overnight thing. And I feel like it's like a forever type of thing. It's every single day you have to choose to like you
Yes.
said, be positive, right?
Yes. Love
Because
yourself,
yeah,
please. Like, love
yes,
yourself. Give yourself the grace. Give yourself,
that part.
congratulate yourself,
Mm.
small
Cheer
victories,
yourself on.
everybody. Yeah. Take that small victory, please.
It's so true,
Um,
and I like that you said that because even myself, I'm guilty of it. Where I'm like, oh, I'm not where I want to be, or oh, I still need this, and sometimes you have to slow down and be like, I have to do it to myself. Trust me, guys. No one's perfect. I'm not perfect. I have to remind myself too to give myself grace. I have to remind myself to be like, all right, Cynthia, look at how much you have done. Okay, you're okay. You're on the right path. And again, it ties into like, am I doing enough? Are people seeing it? When in reality, it's just us. Like you have to make sure you be your biggest cheerleader, just like we're our biggest haters. What if we flip that? I always say that. What if we change that and we're our biggest like cheerleaders because we
yeah.
believe in ourselves?
Right.
Because if you're always waiting for someone's approval or even cheer, I mean, it's nice, of course. Don't get me wrong. But then that's why you're always disappointed, because you're always thinking, am I going to be good enough? No, it's like we are the ones that can make a change. And it starts with us. So we can
Right.
be better, like you said, parents, we can be better partners, friends,
Right. Yeah.
whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, man, what a great conversation. Like I'm telling
I
you, Jonathan,
know.
even
Just
myself, I'm like over here taking mental notes. I'm gonna have to good thing. That's what I love about this, that it stays on here because then we can go back and
Yeah.
watch it and take notes.
Right.
But before we end, I just want you, what can you say to people that are watching who maybe at this moment are facing like something difficult in their life, and because like you said, we can say all you have to do is love yourself. It's
Yeah.
simple. But if when you are going through it, it's not as simple to just be like, oh, okay. You know what I mean? Like, what can you say to somebody right now who's watching, or even if they come back in and watch the replay, that's going through a very difficult time right now in their life?
You know, something that I read before. I don't know if I don't. I hope I don't butcher it. That I usually would like to give people. It's not an advice. It's just how you look at life. So time is like a river, right?
Mm-hmm.
You cannot touch the same water twice because the flow that has passed will never, pass again. So enjoy
Mm-hmm.
life, the moment, your life, people around you, and just keep continuing to live. Uh, Also, chase the vision, not the
Mm,
validation. You know, chase
I love
that,
that.
please. And yeah, so just remember, love yourself, give yourself grace always. Always
Yeah.
pray to God, ask for help. Please always ask for help, like
Yes.
always.
Mm. That's so important. I love how you said that because it's so true. If you guys are watching, guys, again, life, I always say life is like a roller coaster. No, you can't always be these high happiness, and you can't always
Yeah,
hard
being the
times
law.
is not always going to be like, especially if you've gone through stuff, that maybe you thought you wouldn't get through it and you did. But understanding, like you said, giving yourself grace and trying or making the effort. I said this in which I'm trying to live by this new year. Just being intentional with even my thoughts, even
Right.
my actions. Like just everything, even the people who you surround yourself with. Like there has to get to a point in our lives too where it's not like, oh, what did I do wrong to deserve this? It's more like, okay, what can I learn from this? How can I make
Hmm.
better choices? How can I improve me and my life?
Right.
And then
Exactly.
also how can I react to life's hardships, you guys, because there's always going to be something. But ultimately, don't let, if I can say anything, don't let stigmas take over you. Don't let
Right.
the expectations of what your life is supposed to look like because of what society says, as a man,
Hmm.
as a
Hmm.
father, as
Yep.
a mom, as a woman, as a friend, as a lot of
Hmm.
times we're so stuck in these expectations that's why sometimes people are not happy because we're like, oh my God, I have to be like this, or I have, because like tap into you. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Because like you said, life is beautiful and
Yeah.
life is short, and we have to really embrace. I know I always say I don't want to live a life where I just work and then that's it, then you die. And then like,
Yeah.
well, what was your purpose on earth, right?
Exactly.
So, I mean, I don't know. It's so much. So, but I love it. I love a conversation. I think ultimately it is a choice to be positive. It doesn't mean you have to be like smiley face all the time. Like, Cynthia, I'm going through it, so I'm just gonna smile. No, I mean it's
Yeah. No. Yeah.
okay.
No. Yeah.
Like
No.
it's okay to not be okay sometimes, But I think
Yeah.
the important part is like when you're like, okay, I'm gonna cry. I need to cry. I need to scream. I need to, whatever.
Right.
Just don't do anything bad.
Yeah.
And
Right.
then you got to get up and like, how does the song go? You dust yourself off again and
Yeah.
just keep going. Right?
Exactly.
It's
Exactly.
simple. It's simple.
Exactly. Exactly. You got to
No,
think
but
it.
no, yeah, I appreciate you, Jonathan, honestly, for your time, my friend. I know life is crazy, and so I do appreciate you,
Of
making
course.
time to be on the
Thank
podcast. I'm
you.
so excited to talk to you. We're gonna go ahead and wrap this up. What do you want to say? Anything you want to say before we end this amazing stream? And of course, you guys know I'm gonna do podcast clips and post them a little
Yeah.
bit later. But
I
yeah.
just I just hope that whoever tuned in, or maybe later on, I don't know, learn
Mhm.
something from the simple advice.
Yeah,
Not everything deep is amazing. Sometimes the simple words can do such
so
big
true.
impact. And that's it. Love yourself,
Yeah.
pray to God, love your family, keep the people that are, on the same mindset as you around
Mm,
you. That way you guys can feed off each other's positivity,
yeah.
get some advice. Yeah,
I love that. No, I love that,
thank
and
you.
thank you so much. And guys, if you're watching, if you guys can do us a huge favor when this ends, well, once I edit it, then come back and just like it and drop a comment and let us know what you guys thought, or if what you learned even, or share it with somebody as well.
Right.
But yeah, make sure you follow Jonathan on TikTok. And I don't know, is your Instagram a different handle? I don't know if I didn't put it on here, but
Instagram is more of like a personal thing.
okay. You're
Sorry.
like, so just TikTok. No,
Yeah,
that's
just TikTok.
okay.
Yeah.
Just TikTok. So if you guys want to
Yeah.
follow him and you're on TikTok, make sure you guys go show him some love. He, like I said, he definitely will bring positivity and even make you laugh and smile. He'd be silly on there too. And not just that, but he shows mad love. So I appreciate you because
Definitely. Yeah.
you're so supportive and like I appreciate that so much.
Yeah.
So
Spread love. Spread love.
yes, of course. So Jonathan, thank you, my friend, so much again. Guys, whoever
Thank you.
tuned in, whoever watched and stuck around with us the entire little over an hour, I appreciate you guys. Again, when
Yes.
this stream is done, if you guys want to share, and I'll be posting some clips online on social media here pretty soon,
Awesome.
like today, tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see. But Jonathan, thank you again. You guys stay positive.
friend.
Remember,
Yep.
2026, we're still at the beginning. And even if you already have a failure in these 13 days, like it's like my friend Jay said, the one I interviewed him.
Yeah.
Every day is a new day, a new slate. Like,
Yep.
don't wait till 2020. Like every single day that we wake up, like you said, is a new opportunity to do better, to be better. And also something that I love that you repeated is remember to give yourself grace, you guys. Nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect.
Amen.
And yeah, and our outcome just depends on us, on our attitude, on the way we react to life. So with that being said, thank you again, Jonathan. Thank you guys, everybody who tuned in. We'll see you guys next week. I appreciate you guys. And again, if you have not subscribed, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel.
Please.
Yes.
Please
All right,
support.
guys. Have a good night. We'll see you guys next week. Thank you so much. Have a good night.